Maya Tours in Los Angeles, California, serving and meeting the needs of today's traveler by providing Hajj and Umrah tours, worldwide freight and cargo shipping services, as well as serving all your other individual global travels, tours, and
before
needs.
your eyes, that you were thinking about Kaaba, you were seeing the pictures of Kaaba and all those things, now it's before your eyes, in front of you. It is very good to make a dua at that time. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma zid baytaka hadha ta'zeeman wa tashrifan wa takrima. O Allah, increase this house of yours in honor, in glory, in majesty. The house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah zid this, Allah give this house more and more blessings and more majesty and glory. And also give those who come and visit this house blessings. وَزِدْ مَنْ حَجَّهُ وَاعْتَمَرَهُ تَعْظِيمًا وَتَكْرِيمًا. And also honor those who visit this house, and you are among them. So say, Allah, honor those who visit this house and give them the blessings. So in this way, this is the first thing that you did. You saw the house, and first thing is you express your happiness and your dua. And now, if it is the time of prayer, then join the prayer. For example, if you come there around Maghrib time, and they are going to perform the prayer, well, just wait and pray Maghrib. Isha time, pray Isha. But if it is not time of prayer, then what you should do, then immediately go to Kaaba. No Tahiyyatul Masjid. Any other masjid, you pray 2 rak'ah in the masjid before you enter. As soon as you enter. Here, the best tahiyyah is to go to the Kaaba. The best greeting is, greeting of the masjid. When you go to the masjid, you say Tahiyyatul Masjid. Now when you enter the Masjid al-Haram, that is Tahiyyatul Kaaba. So now you are making the tahiyyah, you are going the greetings of the Kaaba. And what you should do, you should go and make the tawaf. So now you are making the first tawaf, tawaf al-Qudum. And this tawaf is also the tawaf of Umrah. And so let me say something about Umrah, because now you are starting your Umrah. So Umrah has ihram, you already have ihram. You cannot perform Umrah without ihram. No Umrah without ihram. For men, special garment. For women, intention, the proper intention, and following all the rules. So you are in that state. Of course you have to have wudu. Umrah cannot be done without wudu. So you have to have wudu, especially tawaf. We talk about tawaf requires that you should be in wudu. So ihram, tawaf. After the tawaf you make sa'i. We'll explain that. And then you finish with halq or qasr. That means trimming of the hair or shaving the hair of the head. So you are starting now with the tawaf. So let's look at what is tawaf. The rules of tawaf. Tahara. Tahara is that you must be in the state of wudu. Tawaf is like prayer. Just like you make 2 rak'ah, 4 rak'ah, you cannot make any salat without wudu. In a similar way, you cannot make any tawaf without wudu. So tawaf requires wudu. And that's why women who have their menses, they cannot make tawaf. If a woman arrives there and she starts having her menses, she should just wait in her place of her accommodation and stay there until she is out of those menses. Then she take a shower and then she can make tawaf. But she cannot perform umrah at that time. If she comes in that state, then she cannot perform umrah, she has to wait. So tahara is necessary. Of course, proper covering of the body, because just like satrul awra for prayer, in a similar way satrul awra for tawaf. That's why I emphasize that people should have this kind of, those who are wearing this ihram they should be very careful that they're properly covered. Some people are very uncaring, they don't pay much attention. It's important. A lot of people around, so one should be very careful that one is covering oneself properly. And then you come towards the Kaaba. So you come to the Kaaba itself, and of course there are a lot of people, so you cannot come too close at this time. At the time of Hajj, hundreds and thousands of people all the time making tawaf. So as much as possible come closer to Kaaba. There you come towards the place of Hajar al-Aswad, where there is a black stone. Now black stone is in the wall of the Kaaba, in the corner wall of the Kaaba. It's a stone that Ibrahim alayhi salam put it in the wall, and now it is covered with the silver covering. So inside there is the stone, and if you can reach it, very lucky if you can reach it. If you can reach it, of course you kiss it. But if you cannot, then touch it. And if you cannot touch it, which is most probably because you cannot, because there's too many people, touching is not easy. So if you cannot touch it, you just point towards it. And there is a line that comes from the Hajar al-Aswad side all the way. It's a very long line, yeah? So you can stand on that line anywhere, facing the Hajar al-Aswad. So you face the Hajar al-Aswad this way, put your both hands towards the Hajar al-Aswad like that. Of course you are making your intention now for tawaf. So make your two hands before the Hajar al-Aswad, and you say Allahu Akbar, and then kiss your hand. So this is you pointed by your hand to the Hajar al-Aswad, and you kiss your hand. And now you start. In this way that you are at the right side of the Kaaba. Of course, the way the flow is, you cannot go anything else. But in case, sometimes somebody may go anytime and they not find any person, he has to know this rule. But this is, of course, the flow. It's an ocean that is flowing this way. So this is the way you will be going that way. So it's anti-clockwise. This is the way you will be going. That is, your Kaaba is you are at the right side of the Kaaba. And this is the way you are going. And when you go from the Kaaba, so there is and here is the Hajar al-Aswad. So you are starting from here, and of course the line is going this way. All the way, there's a line. So you can stand here, anywhere, and then you start this way. And then you pass this way. Now this is Hatim. There is an entrance from here. Hatim is also part of the Kaaba. So don't try to cross this way. Don't try to make a shortcut. You have to go this way. And here there is Rukn Yamani. Rukn Yamani, this is the corner it's a Yemeni corner. That is, the direction is towards Yemen. So you touch this one also if possible. And then when you call in between here, then you say Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. And you come here again towards Hajar Aswad. So you started with Hajar Aswad, you went all the way, and then you back to Hajar Aswad. This is one shout, and you have to do that 7 times. 7 shout. Now if the traffic is light, not too many people, this does not take more than 2 minutes. This whole thing. But if a lot of people, Allah knows how long it will take you. It may take you maybe 15 minutes, maybe it will take you 20 minutes or so, depending on the number of people. Because you might be going all the way this way. So you're making a big circle. So try to find a time where maybe a little less people. Sometime in the middle of the night, you'll find that lesser people. Or when in the middle of the day, it's very hot, and there are not too many people. So at that time you can that. So anyway, but the point is that now you have started your tawaf. Now in this tawaf, those of you who are wearing ihram, you have to do istiba'. Istiba' is, you are not wearing any shirt, you are not wearing any undershirt, anything like that. This is what you have only for the upper part of your body, and you keep your right shoulder bare, nothing covering the right shoulder. And then after that you make the first three rounds, as much as possible with fast space, moving fast, which is called raml. So we call raml and istiba'. Raml is fast moving, istiba' is keeping the shoulder without any covering, or bringing the ihram from under the armpit over it. So keep one shoulder open. This is a very interesting reason for that. You know, when the Prophet ﷺ took the Sahaba for Umrah, and the people of Mecca, they did not allow them. So there is a negotiation took place near Hudaybiyah. And the people of Mecca, they told them at that time, they were non-Muslims at that time, so they told Muslims that you go back and you come next year. So Prophet ﷺ took the Sahaba, and the next year they came to make the Umrah. The people of Mecca, they started teasing Muslims. Some of them said, you know, you went with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you went to Medina, you lost your weight. You are not that strong as you used to be. So this is the kind of thing that they used to say. In Mecca you were strong, in Medina you are not strong. So Prophet said, show them your shoulders. So they said, all right, you do this thing. So put this. Now of course in Hajj we are remembering all that story. We are remembering all this history. From starting with the Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hajra radiallahu ta'ala anha and all of these things. So you are also remembering what has happened at that time. You know, so you remember that what happened to Muslims, what kind of thing they went through, what difficulties they went through. So this is the way you do that, and this is required for Umrah. That is, when you make Umrah and you are in the state of Ihram, then you should do that. And you move a little faster, the strong move, and then this you do it only for three rounds, 3 shots. The rest of the 4, again you can cover your shoulder, and then you do it in the normal way. So you will be starting from Hajj al-Aswad, and each round will finish at Hajj al-Aswad. So you will come back on Hajj al-Aswad. Now it is good you can start from far, if there is too much crowd, and slowly you work your way inside. And then as you come towards the end of your tawaf, you start getting out, changing slowly your lane, and then you start getting out, because it becomes difficult. If you are on the 7th round, when finishing your 7th and you are very close to Hajj al-Aswad, then you will be really getting out of this crowd, and it's not very easy. So some people don't know that, and they really stop other people, and there's a lot of obstruction. So if people start doing this thing, just like when you are driving, you get into the fast lane, and then slowly as you want to come closer to the exit, you don't immediately go towards the exit. You just beforehand, you start changing your lane slowly, and then you come to the exit point. So in a similar way you should do that. And so in this way you can get out. Be careful. I mean, of course people are moving, but some people coming from areas where they have not given this kind of courses, they have not learned much, so they really don't know much. Sometimes they see too many people and they are overwhelmed with the crowd, and they want to keep their people together. So they are holding everybody together, especially those who are coming from villages. They have their women folk in between, and the men are holding all their hands everywhere, and they are moving with a mass. And this becomes very dangerous. Sometimes people get trampled because of the stampede it happens sometimes. So you have to be very careful if you see something like that. Don't hurt anyone, but also make sure that you are not get hurt. La darara wa la dirar. Islamic principle is don't harm, don't get harmed. So this is what you should do. Be very careful in this way you move. And then during tawaf, of course, you are making dua. There are a number of books available for that. You can use them, or you don't have to. There is really no special dua for tawaf. Whatever you remember, you say it. Whatever dua you know, you say it. If you want to use the book, go ahead, use the book. There are some people, they take a special mutawwif. Mutawwif is the person who helps in tawaf. So there are some mutawwifin there. And the mutawwif goes ahead of the people and he loudly says the dua and people just repeat after that, the mutawwif. That's also possible. But you can do it yourself, whatever dua you know, you just say it. And so all these 7 rounds that you should do, you should make dua. No conversation among yourselves, no just talking about regular things, no. Pure intention is that you are making tawaf, you are making ibadah. So that is you keep your mind towards ibadah, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make the tawaf in this way. And
you also say labbaik at the time, or?
Yes, labbaik you can say it, or during tawaf, of course there are many other du'as. Husband and wife could be together. This men and women can be together in that. Or you can say to your companion, to your wife, if you have children with you, tell them that if in case we miss each other, this is the place where we'll meet. You can point them to some place and say, this is the place we'll meet. So in this way everybody will gather in that place, and then you don't have to look all over. It's a huge place and it will be very difficult to find. So you can point out some areas nearby, some sign you can use, and you say, tell them that this is the place that you can sit there. When I took my children there was some place, there was a blue light, something red light. So I told them that this is the place we'll be meeting there. So, and if you get lost, then you come there and be there. So there were a lot of people there sitting there. She said, all these people are lost. I said, no, all these people are not lost. If you are lost, then you will be there in that place. So that is, you can point any place and say, if anybody is lost, then you will be in that place. So making dua during the tawaf. And once you finish the tawaf, you go and you made the 2 rak'ah, and now it is good to go and drink the water of Zamzam. The water of Zamzam is available all over in the haram. They put a special what do you call it, jugs or something like that. They have them, and the containers for water, and they have also plastic glasses. They really keep very good care of that. They bring, put the fresh glasses on one side and the used glasses on the other side, plastic glasses. But a lot of people don't know. So they use, they drink the water and they use the used glasses and the fresh glasses and the used glasses. They really don't know what is there. So make sure what you are doing, and you can drink from there. If you want to go near the well itself, it is under the ground, and there is one area for men and another area for women. So there you can go inside and under the ground, and there is a big huge area they have made where there are faucets, so you can make wudu. Of course up on the ground you can only drink the water, but when you go down you can wash, you can make wudu, you can pour the water over yourself completely. you can do that. And a lot of water coming, and there are hundreds of people there. So, and drink the water. So this water is the blessed water. This is the water that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided to Ismail alayhi salam. When he and his mother, both of them were looking for water, and the baby, of course Ismail was the baby at that time, was crying of thirst. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided that water, and at one time this was the only well in Mecca. And still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a special blessing that the water is bubbling, the millions and millions of gallons every day, and people are drinking that water, and there's no end to it. So this is Allah's special blessing, that this water is going on and on and on, and the same flow and the special taste of this water. And there is a great blessing. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma'u Zamzam lima shuriba lah." The water of Zamzam is for whatever purpose you drink it. So you drink that water and make dua, especially Allahumma shifa'an min kulli da'. Oh Allah, make this water a shifa for me from every disease, from every problem, from every difficulty that I have. And then after that, you go towards Safa and Marwa. And then you make sa'i. Sa'i is when, you remember, as I mentioned, that Hajj radiallahu ta'ala anha, she was with the baby Ismail, and she was looking for water. So she went to Safa, and then she ran from Safa to Marwa. So these are the two hills, very close. And these hills are, if you go out towards from this side, from the Hajj al-Aswad side, on this side, you will see that this is all part of the Haram now. All part of the Haram. Here is Safa. So Safa is on this side and Marwa is on this side. So from here you go towards Safa. And again, this is all inside the masjid now, because it's a huge masjid, so you are all inside. And you go to Safa, you will not see the mountain there, because all is all inside now. But you still see some stones, a little shape of the mountain there. So you go and over it, just walk, and as much as you can up there, and then from there you turn towards Kaaba. And while you are going up there, you say the ayah from the Quran, Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Safa and Marwa are the two signs from the signs of Allah. Abda'u bima bada Allah. I begin from where Allah began. Allah began with Safa, so you begin with Safa. So you begin with Safa, you are up there, and you are facing towards Kaaba, and you say Allahu Akbar. And you are making the intention to make sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Now from Safa you go to Marwa. Walk all the way to Marwa. Now it's a long walk. About 300-400 yards, or I would say it's a little less than a meter. I am not exactly sure about the real level. It takes time. It takes about, if there is not too much crowd, it may take you about 10 minutes to walk from between Safa and to Marwa. And then this is one. Then from Marwa to Safa, 2. Then from Safa to Marwa again. And then from Marwa to Safa. So all of this is 7. You will end up at Marwa. Because you started from Safa, you go to Marwa. Then Marwa to Safa. Then Safa to Marwa. Then Marwa to Safa. Then Safa to Marwa. This is the way. So you go between these two. In between there is an area which is called Al-Milain Al-Akhdarain. You will see the pillars have green sign. And then after a few yards you will see another place where there are green signs. In between you run. Not just walk, but run as much as you can. This is the area which was when Hajra radiallahu ta'ala anha, she was walking between Safa and Marwa looking for water, And then she would come to an area that when the valley was deep, the ground was too low, and she was not able to see her son, because she was just keeping an eye to the sun. And she was not able to see Ismail, so she used to run. So you do the same thing, of course, now it's the same level, but still you remember that story, how Hajra was so concerned about her baby that she would not lose the sight of the baby. So she was just keeping an eye on the baby, and then she was running now very fast. So you fast that way. And you remember that thing, that how much this mother loved her child, and then you of course love your children, and then you remember the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love for both of them, for the mother and the child, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them. So in a similar way, you are seeking the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for yourself. And then of course inside also you keep on making dua. Whatever dua you have, you remember that, and then so this you finish that. It may take you about 45 minutes to 1 hour to finish the sa'i. Those of you who have difficulty to walk, especially older people, there are wheelchairs available. And there is a special area where the wheelchairs can be taken. So you can get the wheelchair. There are hundreds of wheelchairs on one side, and you have to give them something, your passport or your identification paper or something like that, so they keep that to make sure that you will return the wheelchair. And you take it yourself, and let the elder in your family sit on that, or the person who has some handicap, something like, sit on that, and then you take that person, help that person to go that. It is allowed to do the sa'i riding. There are people, if you do not want to do it, or then there are people whom you can pay, and they can do that, they can help in that. So there are some professional people who push the wheelchair, and they can do that, and they'll have some nominal fee for that. They might have to pay like 20 riyals or 30 riyals, whatever. During Hajj time you have to pay a little more. So it's like $10, $15 you have to give, and the person will do that. And these people are professional, they do it very fast, they run, and don't get caught in between them when they are running in that, because they do it very fast. So that's the sa'i. And then you make dua. Of course you make dua during the sa'i, and as you finish at Marwa, then you stand up at Marwa, and then you make dua, your hands toward the Kaaba, and you make dua, and you say, Allah, accept this sa'i that I have done. Now your umrah is complete. You made the tawaf, and you made the sa'i. So umrah is done. But you need to get out of ihram. In order to be out of ihram, what you have to do is you have to have your hair. Either you go to the barber, very close, the barber shops, and they will shave it. Symbolically, just a little hair they can take off from any place, not all over, just from any place, just some little hair of like ½ inch or ¾ of an inch you have to do. And that's in order to be out of ihram. Once you have done that, now you are in the regular life. Now you can go to your room, change your clothes, and put on your regular clothes. For women, I mean, you are already in your regular clothes, but now you are no more to have the restrictions of ihram. And now whenever you come to haram, during the day that you spend in Mecca, whenever you come to haram, of course you are coming for prayers. This is what you should be doing there, that every prayer that you will be praying in haram, because this is the best thing that you do in Mecca. Take advantage of that time and pray. Every prayer is the reward of 100,000 prayers. So it's a great reward. So you pray there. And as much as possible make tawaf. But for the other tawaf, you don't need ihram. You don't need istiba, you don't need raml. You are in your regular clothes. So you come there and you make tawaf, especially during the night time. Early morning you can do the tawaf. So as many tawaf as you can, you do that. One tawaf every day, two tawaf every day. Some people do more than that. So this is a great thing to do more and more tawaf while you are in Mecca. And you spend all this time in prayers, in reading the Quran, in making tawaf, in devoting your time to your devotion, to your ibadah. Of course you are allowed to do business as well. If you want to go do some shopping, you can do that, but don't spend too much time on that. And you can relax, you can sleep, you can eat. This is not forbidden, but most of the time you give to your devotion, to your ibadah. Hajj rules. So you perform your Umrah and now you are in Mecca. Those of you who want to go to Medina, if you have enough time, you can go from Mecca to Medina. If not, then you are in the city of Mecca. And as I said, the time that you spend in Mecca, you spend in all your prayers you perform in the haram, and make as much tawaf as you can, and dua, and read the Quran, and devote your time to worship, to your good deeds, inshallah. And then the time of Hajj comes. You're all waiting for that. And there are certain things that you should remember before that. There are certain rules for Hajj. Hajj has, of course, a special time. And if you miss that time, there is no Hajj. You go all the way from here to there and you miss that time, that means you miss the Hajj. So you have to be observant of that time, all the timings. For Hajj, ihram is necessary. And going to Arafah is another very important thing, because Al-Hajj Arafah. If you miss Arafah, you miss Hajj.
How can you go to Arafah? Is it with bus or?
Yeah, there will be buses that will taking. We'll come to that point. I'm just mentioning some of the important principles of Hajj, pillars of Hajj. That is, one must not miss that. And of course, Tawaf Ziyarah and Tawaf al-Ifada. So these are some of the important arkan, important pillars of Hajj. Hajj has 5 days. 5 days of Hajj. The first day starts on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. 8th of Dhul Hijjah will be the first day. On the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah, you are in Mecca, or you are coming from Medina to Mecca. So if you are in Mecca, what you do, you prepare yourself, take a bath for Hajj, clean yourself, and now you put on your ihram in your hotel room. Wherever you are staying, from there you put on your ihram. Make the 2 rak'ah there and make the intention for Hajj. You don't have to go to the masjid. You don't have to go to the Masjid al-Haram to perform your prayers or anything like that. But for ihram, you can do it from your own room, wherever you are. So now you put on your ihram. Or ladies, you made your intention for ihram. Then your group leader will tell you where you will get the bus, at what time. Buses will be leaving at any time from the morning of the 8th. Some will be leaving in the morning, some will leave in the afternoon, some will leave late in the evening. But anyway, any time on the 8th you can come to Arafah, to Mina, from Mecca to Mina. The distance between Mecca and Mina is about 6 or 7 miles. And the buses have to take you. It will be crowded, it may take longer time because of during the Hajj time. So they will take you to your place of accommodation in Mina. In Mina there are different types of accommodation. There are some buildings also there, but most of the people stay in tents. So there might be a tent there for your group, depending what kind of tent they have arranged, and there will be tents there. So they will take you to your area. When you arrive there, make sure that you are in your area. Look at the surroundings. Make sure where you are. Know the address, know the location. Because if you go out, you go here and there, don't lose the way. Some people get lost because all tents look alike. So it is better that you make very sure that where you are, and don't go too far unless you are in the company of some other people. So there you will go. From Mecca you arrive in Mina. Now when you come for Mina, take few things with you from Mecca. For example, you can take one pair of clothes with you, because you will be taking off your ihram and you will need your clothes. Take your clothes with you. Take some blanket, pillow. If you have a thermos or something like that for water, or water bottle, you can take that with you. Whatever medicine you need, take that medicine with you. Few things, don't take too many things, don't take the whole suitcase. I mean, just few things. A small bag will be good if you have that. In a bag you take all those things and then you go from Mecca to Mina. Leave the other things at the hotel, at your accommodation place in Mecca. All other things that you leave them there. And of course make sure that everything is safe. Money, of course, don't leave it in the room there in Mecca. Money should be with you, or put it in a deposit box there at the hotel. The hotels have safety boxes, so put it in the safety box there. So this, and then with whatever, take it. I mean, you can have this bag with you, and be very sure about when if you keep money in that, then you just keep it all the time with you. And any other expensive things that you have, your jewelry or whatever you have, be careful about those things. So you came to Mina. On the 8th day, you spend in Mina. You pray in Mina. And then you spend that night in Mina. Next morning, which is the 9th of the Hajj, is the second day of Hajj. And this is the main day. Because this is the day called Al-Arafah, the day of Arafah, Yawm Arafah. So after the Fajr prayer, you pray your Fajr in Mina, and now leave from Mina to Arafat. Arafat is about 3-4 miles from Mina. And again, it's a big valley, huge valley. And there no buildings, there they only have tents. So this is a tent city. And they will take you, your group will have some transportation, buses or cars or whatever. They will take you from Mina to Arafat. If the traffic is not too much, you will be there in about 15-20 minutes. But if it is too much, it may take you 5 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, whatever, depending on the traffic. So you will be from Mina into Arafat. And in Arafat, again, there will be assigned area for you. It's not like any place you stay with. I mean, your group must have taken a place, and they will know where you are going to go. So you will go to your own tent, and in the tent you go and stop there, you take some rest. They will provide you some food, some refreshments. You will have your lunch there, and then after that take some rest. Then you pray Zuhr and Asr. Zuhr and Asr in Arafat are prayed together, Jam'an. You pray first Zuhr and then you pray Asr. And it is done with Qasr, 2 rakah Zuhr and 2 rakah Asr. So Jam'an wa Qasran. And then there is, after that, there is the khutbah. Just like on Friday you have a khutbah, in a similar way there is a khutbah in the masjid. Those of you who can go to the masjid, you can go to the masjid, but masjid is not big enough for everybody. There are millions of people there. So people stay in their own tents, and wherever they are, they make their own jama'ah there. And sometimes people have the radio or television, whatever, they listen to the khutbah through the radio or through the television. They hear that. If you can hear, it's fine. If you don't hear, still your Hajj is okay. So you perform your Zuhr and Asr together. First Zuhr, then Asr, and that is through in Qasr, shortening. Instead of 4 rakah, you pray 2 rakah. After that, you have your lunch, refreshments, take some rest, and then make dua. From the afternoon of the day of Arafah until the ghurub time, this is the best time for dua. And this is the main time for Hajj. So this is the time that you spend more and more time making dua, reading the Quran, and until the ghurub comes. And when the ghurub comes, then do not pray Maghrib. Even if your whole life you have never missed your Maghrib on time, today you are not going to pray Maghrib in Arafat. Right? You are not allowed to pray Maghrib in Arafat. What you should do, you will see that people start getting ready, but don't leave before ghurub. You have to leave after ghurub. And leave Arafat after ghurub. So your transportation, your buses, your cars will be ready, and then you are in the car, and as after the ghurub, move. And you move from Arafat to Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is another valley. It is between Arafat and Mina. So you left Arafat and you arrived in Muzdalifah. Now it may take 1 hour, it may take more than that, depending on the traffic. So you arrive in Muzdalifah anytime, 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever time you arrive in Muzdalifah. Now in Muzdalifah you stay, and there are no tents there, no buildings there, so you just stay in open. It's an open valley, and you stay there. And there you pray Maghrib and Isha. As soon as you arrive there, you pray Maghrib and Isha now. First you pray Maghrib, 3 rakah, and then you pray Isha, 2 rakah. Maghrib, you cannot shorten the Maghrib because 3 rakah. And Isha, instead of praying 4, you pray 2. But you pray both of them together, Maghrib and Isha. And after that, make dua and have your supper, your refreshments. There are small shops, people just put them for tea or coffee or water or whatever, you can take that. And you are just staying in courtyards. So there are area for car park, and in between there is a courtyard where people stay. You can collect the small pebbles from Muzdalifah. These are pebbles that you will be using in Mina next day. So you collect them there. You take at least 49 pebbles, small pebbles like chickpea size. and put them in a plastic bag or whatever. You can put them. You don't have to wash them or anything like that. But they should not be too big. And those pebbles, you collect them, and this will be with you for the next few days that you will be using them. 49, because first day you will use 7, and the next day you will do 21, and the following day you will use 21. So that's why you need 49. And now you are in Muzdalifah. You spend the night in Muzdalifah. After the middle of the night, it is allowed for women and for the old people and for the sick people to leave Muzdalifah. But it is better to stay in Muzdalifah until Fajr time. Sometime because of nights are cold, in the desert, and some people they say, the driver said, let's leave, that's enough, you stayed already enough. You prayed your Maghrib, you prayed your Isha, now you leave. But actually it is better to stay. If you cannot stay, it's too cold outside, well, stay in your bus. Or you can use your blanket. That's why I told you to have your blanket with you. So you are now in Muzdalifah, and you pray the Fajr prayer, and after Fajr, from Muzdalifah you go to Mina, back to Mina. You started from Mina, you came to Arafah, from Arafah you went to Muzdalifah, and now from Muzdalifah you are back in Mina. And this is your third day of Hajj. And this is the day called the 10th of the Hijjah. This is the day that all over the world people are having Eid al-Adha. So all over the world people are thinking of you. Those of you who are making Hajj, people are just thinking of you. That you had your Hajj yesterday. And all over people are going for Eid prayer. Now there is no Eid prayer for Hujjaj. Because you are already doing all those kind of things. For you is all the time the Eid. You were in Arafat, you were in all over. So you are all over. So you don't have to make a special Eid prayer, but you are doing something else. So what you do, that you come from Muzdalifah to Mina, and first thing you do, as soon as you arrive in Mina, you of course, you might go to your place where you are staying. You stayed on the 8th day, you go back to your own tent there, or you can go direct from Muzdalifah to the Jamratul Aqaba. Jamra is the place where you will be throwing a stone. And there are 3 Jamarat. And there will be signs there. It's written there, Shaitan. A small shaitan, middle shaitan, big shaitan. Actually there is no shaitan there. It is, what is there? The shaitan appeared to Ibrahim alayhi salam in those places. So those are the places where shaitan appeared to Ibrahim alayhi salam when he was taking his son for sacrifice. Ismail alayhi salam, he was taking him, and at every place shaitan would appear and tell him, don't do that. And he turned away shaitan by throwing the small pebbles. So that's what you do. You remember that event, and then you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep the shaitan away from you, from your life. So you go to the major one, to the bigger area, which is called Al-Jamratul Aqaba, the last Aqaba, or some people call it Shaitan. Big shaitan, shaitan-e-buzurg, in Persian they written shaitan-e-buzurg, but there is no buzurg shaitan there. It's just it's a sign there. So you see that, and there once you arrive there, then you take your 7 pebbles out of the pebble that you collected, 7 pebbles, and you take each one at a time. Not all the 7 together, but each one at a time, and you say, Rajman lil-shaytan wa lidan lil-rahman. Rajm I'm throwing this on the shaitan and I'm pleasing the Rahman, the most merciful. And you say it every time, and then you throw these 7. Make sure that those pebbles, they go into that there is the surrounding, there is a there is the wall, boundary wall. Within the boundary wall, it may hit the pillar, it may not hit the pillar, but at least it should fall in the boundary wall. And make sure that you don't hit anybody who is in front of you. That's important, that we should not hurt anyone. And sometimes people get very excited. They see shaitan now, so they say they want to get rid of all their anger. And sometimes they throw their shoes on the shaitan and something like this. So that's not right, because you are not really doing whatever comes to your heart or your mind. You are trying to follow the rules. And the rule is just take those small pebbles and thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thinking to get out of the evil within yourself, all the temptations of shaitan, you throw those pebbles. And this is, men do that, women do that. But it is allowed if women find it difficult because of crowd. Somebody can do it on behalf of somebody else. For older people, they can assign to someone else to do it on their behalf. So if you are doing it on behalf of someone else, you have to do it that first you throw on your own behalf, for yourself, and then after that you do it on behalf of the other person. And in the similar way. So finish the 7 of yours, and then after that the other 7 that you do, or whatever. If you're doing on behalf of 1 person or 2 persons, then you should do that. Of course, one should do it for oneself. Don't assign it to somebody else unless you have some difficulty. If you find it because of sickness or something like that, you could not do it, then you assign to somebody else. Otherwise, do it yourself. The time is any time from morning till evening. Any time. On the 10th day of Dhul Hajjah. You can do that. Now after you finish the Rami, this is called Rami. R-A-M-I, Rami. So you finish the Rami, now you have to do another thing. And that is the sacrifice. Nahar. So Rami and then Nahar. N-A-H-R. Now sacrifice, there are several ways of making sacrifice. One of them is that when you are in Mecca, there are several small booths or offices